a dark story of a human, scarred by violence, who was forced to live as a devourer of human flesh. The film begins by showing an old man named Joseph Hofer, who is on a journey by car to a place called Devil's Den. However, along the way, Joseph looks confused because it is difficult for him to find the direction to the place. Therefore, Joseph stops for a moment at a store to buy some food and also a map that will serve as a guide to Devil's Den. Joseph then asks the store owner about the direction to the remote area known as Devil's Den, a place infamous for its haunted house and the rumors of terrifying stories surrounding it.
Like people like you in here from time to time, or...
At the same time, a news broadcast on television warns the public about a fugitive named Joseph Hofer, who is considered dangerous because he is armed. The police even offer a reward of $250,000 to anyone who can provide information about Joseph's whereabouts. In an instant, the store owner's face turns anxious as he realizes the true identity of the man standing before him. Without mercy, Joseph shoots the store owner. Joseph then hurriedly returns to his car, unaware that he has left behind the map marked by the store owner, which was supposed to be crucial for him. Without the map and any clear direction, Joseph is forced to wander through various roads in search of a clue leading to Devil's Den. After a long and exhausting journey, his eyes finally catch a small sign that reads Devil's Den, signaling that he has arrived at his destination. Without hesitation, Joseph immediately enters a narrow path surrounded by many trees. Eventually, Joseph arrives at a house that is said to be extremely haunted. Joseph does not believe in the rumors that circulate. His reason for coming to that place is because he wants to hide for a while from the police who are hunting him all over the city. With the scary stories surrounding the place and the difficult access to the area, he is certain that no one would dare visit, making it a perfect spot for him to hide safely without worrying about being caught. Carefully, Joseph decides to enter the house to rest for a while. His peace is suddenly disturbed when he hears mysterious knocking from behind the wall. When Joseph peeks through a small hole in the wall, he is shocked as an axe bursts through, smashing the wall in front of him. Joseph tries to shoot but eventually runs out of bullets. Realizing he is not the only one living in the house, Joseph chooses to escape through the back door. However, fate intervenes when his leg is caught in a trap, leaving him injured and limping. In pain, Joseph searches for a hiding spot, but while hiding behind the trees, he is suddenly attacked by a woman named Mina, who has lived there for a long time. Mina drags Joseph's body away and devours his corpse. When Mina checks Joseph's car, she finds a cereal box, the only food inside. She tries to eat it, but human food does not suit her. She can only consume animal flesh or human flesh. Suddenly, someone emerges from the trunk, startling Mina. It turns out that aside from being a brutal killer, Joseph had also kidnapped and imprisoned a blind man named Alex. This is the reason Joseph had become a fugitive. At first, Alex mistakes Mina for Joseph and apologizes for startling her. He promises to always stay hidden and not make any noise. With a trembling voice, Alex begs Joseph not to hurt him and promises to do anything for him. When Mina touches Alex, he screams hysterically, showing that Joseph had often abused him, leaving him traumatized and terrified of physical contact. His fear is so severe that Alex even wets his pants. Mina then tells Alex that Joseph has been killed, so he no longer needs to worry. Seeing his condition, Mina quickly brings Alex a change of clothes, showing genuine care and empathy toward him.
You should really dress warmer.
Witnessing Alex's overwhelming fear, Mina cannot help but recall her own painful past, when she also lived in suffering. She once lived happily with her mother and father, but one day, her father died, leaving her mother devastated. Her mother drowned her sorrow in alcohol until she eventually met a man named Tom, who became her new boyfriend. Although Mina rejected and disapproved of the relationship between her mother and Tom, her mother refused to listen. Mina had a gut feeling that Tom was not a good man, and her instinct proved right. when one day, while her mother was asleep, Tom cruelly forced himself on Mina. Not wanting to be treated that way, Mina fought back by biting Tom's finger and neck as her last attempt to defend herself. Enraged, Tom repeatedly punched Mina in the face, leaving her face shattered and covered in wounds. Believing Mina was dead, Tom carried her away to bury her. But after being buried for some time, Mina suddenly came back to life like a corpse, rising and killed Tom. She then returned home to her mother, who was worried about Mina's mysterious disappearance and suspected that her new boyfriend Tom was the reason behind it. When her mother saw Mina come back covered in blood, she regretted everything and could only apologize for what had happened. However, despite her mother's apology, Mina's heart was already broken from her mother's constant refusal to listen to her, and Mina stabbed her own mother to death. After the deaths of her mother and Tom, the house became abandoned and neglected, fueling the rumors that it was haunted. Despite that, Mina continued to live there. Coming back from her memories, Mina hears a sound approaching. She quickly hides inside the house, only to see that the newcomer is a police officer named Nate. Nate had received a report about the murder of the store clerk who was shot. At the crime scene, Nate had found a clue, a map pointing to Devil's Den. Following it, Nate arrives at the abandoned house. Speaking through his walkie-talkie to Angie, Nate reports seeing a car matching the description of Joseph's vehicle. Inside, he also finds a man, none other than Alex, who had been reported missing for a long time and was currently on the police's search list. Nate immediately enters the house to arrest Joseph. As he looks around, Nate becomes suspicious of a closet, and when he opens it, he finds a terrifying-looking woman inside. At first, Nate thinks she is some kind of monster. Mina then brutally attacks him, killing him instantly. Before dying, Nate manages to send a final message through his walkie-talkie, reporting that he had been attacked by a monster in the abandoned house at Devil's Den. Realizing the place is no longer safe, Mina plans to leave, taking Alex with her. Her reason for bringing him along is that she feels they share something in common. They have both experienced the bitterness of life. But just as Mina is about to leave with Alex, he suddenly disappears. Mina immediately searches for him and luckily finds him again. She asks why Alex left without telling her, and Alex begins to share his story of how his life changed after Joseph kidnapped him. Joseph threatened to kill his family if Alex disobeyed his orders. Deeply loving his family and unwilling to see them harmed, Alex obeyed everything Joseph demanded. Despite being tortured over and over, Alex could do nothing. Joseph even cruelly burned him, leaving Alex blind. The repeated abuse inflicted deep trauma on him. Alex explains that many people will come to that place searching for Joseph and himself, as they would receive a reward from the police for finding them. The police will surely inform the public of Joseph and Alex's last known location at Devil's Den, since Nate had already reported it before he died. Then the sound of footsteps was heard, someone searching for Alex, and Mina quickly took him to her safe hiding place. They decided to rest there for a while since night was approaching. Alex obeyed Mina because, in his mind, there was no one left he could trust except her, the woman he had just met. Unlike most people, even though Alex could not see, he could still feel, and to him, Mina was a good person.
We've been here for hours. I'm starving. He liked to burn things.
The next day, Mina invited Alex to leave the area. On their way, Mina suddenly left Alex behind when she noticed 3 people approaching them. The 3 men felt lucky to have found Alex, the missing man who was being searched for by the police. They asked where Joseph was, hoping to capture him and receive a large reward from the authorities. Without saying a word, Mina suddenly appeared and managed to kill 2 of them.
Is Joseph nearby, Alex?
Come on out, Hoffer.
We better get his crew.
Meanwhile, the 3rd man recorded the incident as proof that the rumors about a monster in the area were true. But as he tried to escape from Mina, he was suddenly struck by a passing car and killed instantly. Mina then took the man's phone, intending to give it to Alex in case he wanted to call someone. Since Alex could not see, he asked Mina to dial the number he dictated. When the call connected, a voice answered, but suddenly Alex hung up without explaining why. He also did not tell Mina the reason he ended the call. Feeling hungry, Alex asked Mina to help him find food. After a long walk, they found the only nearby house and decided to enter its kitchen to take some food. However, Mina was caught by the homeowner for trespassing. Fortunately, Alex came and killed the woman immediately. He then devoured the soup hungrily, but Mina, after trying the food, vomited. Although she was once human, Mina's habit of consuming raw human or animal flesh had made her body unable to process normal human food anymore. Since this was the only house that provided them with food, the two planned to stay there for a few days. While Alex slept, Mina, curious, decided to call back the number Alex had dialed earlier.
Look, I got a call from this number earlier.
When the call connected, she heard a woman's voice. The woman, sounding slightly worried, asked who was calling her again. Mina remained silent and let the woman speak. Suddenly, the woman's tone changed into one filled with sorrow, begging someone named Joseph to return her child. Mina then realized that the woman was Alex's mother, desperate and heartbroken over her son's long disappearance. Mina quickly ended the call. Then Mina, starving, dragged the body of the woman Alex had killed into the shed to eat. But she suddenly realized that her true nature was human, and she should not consume flesh that was never meant to be eaten. Despite her overwhelming hunger, Mina understood that eating human flesh violated the most basic principles of humanity. Suddenly, Alex's scream was heard. He was being taken to the police station by a man named Brian and his wife Liz, who also lived in the house along with the woman they had killed. Brian and Liz had heard the many reports about Alex, who had long been sought by the authorities. Mina quickly chased after the car and managed to climb onto the back of Brian's vehicle. But when Brian saw Mina's terrifying face, he lost control and the car swerved violently, resulting in a serious accident. Brian was severely injured. Liz was knocked unconscious at the scene. Alex suffered a serious wound to his abdomen, and Mina herself was thrown hard, leaving her unconscious. When Mina woke up, she immediately approached the car and saw Alex struggling in pain from his injury. Meanwhile, Liz, regaining consciousness, called the police for help after the crash. Mina allowed Liz to make the call while she stayed beside Alex to speak with him. She told him that she had dialed the number he gave her earlier and realized it was his mother's number, who had sounded deeply worried about his condition. In their final conversation, Mina tried to comfort Alex, reassuring him that his mother cared deeply for him and that he no longer needed to be afraid of Joseph, because Joseph was truly dead and could never hurt him or his family again. As a last farewell before the police arrived, Mina embraced Alex tightly, thanking him for everything they had been through together. Through Alex's presence, Mina had rediscovered her true self and returned to her humanity. Not long after, police officers and an ambulance arrived at the scene to rush Alex to the hospital for further treatment, while Mina could only watch from behind the trees. Even though Alex cried out for Mina to stay with him, she chose, with a heavy heart, to leave, for Alex's own good. Once reunited with his family, Alex would surely be cared for, and there was even hope that, with medical treatment for his eyes, he might one day regain his sight. Meanwhile, Mina decided to return to the house where she once lived to pack up her belongings and start a new chapter in her life. A shocking truth was revealed. Mina had only been pretending to be a monster. She deliberately painted her face to look terrifying so she would resemble a creature of horror. She did this to keep people away from the area around her house. Mina had isolated herself from society after being traumatized and losing trust in others because of the betrayal she experienced from her mother and her mother's boyfriend. After their deaths, she had no choice but to survive by eating raw meat from animals. Over time, she became so accustomed to it that her body could no longer process ordinary human food. Slowly, Mina began to lose her identity as a human, acting more like a monster who had no fear of killing or consuming anyone who dared to come near her home. But her dark life changed the moment she met Alex. Through her bond with him, Mina gradually found her way back to her humanity. Alex's gentle nature began to heal the wounds of her past. Determined to change, Mina removed her frightening makeup and began living once again as a human. She also tried to adapt to eating human food again, as shown when she started training herself to eat cereal. After Alex's departure, Mina chose to wander and embrace her newfound freedom, leaving behind the burdens of her past. In the final scene, Mina is seen walking alone in a remote area. A kind woman driving by notices her and, out of pity, offers her a ride. She warns that it isn't safe for Mina to stay alone in such a deserted place, fearing someone might harm her. Though hesitant at first, Mina eventually gets into the woman's car, symbolizing that she is slowly learning to trust people again. From here on, Mina is bound to find a happier life among new people who will truly care for her, and the story ends.